Monday, June 9th, 2025, and I have an urgent update for anybody live from Israel here. Urgent update about the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. The well-known international celebrity, young activist, who started out as an eco or climate change activist, Greta Thunberg of Sweden, has been kidnapped by the Israeli occupation forces, as the anti-Israeli protesters called them, the Israeli occupiers, the IOF, the Israeli offensive forces, as they call them, or the occupier forces. That's right. Greta Thunberg and her cast of clowns on the Madeleine boat entered Israeli territorial waters at some point last night, this morning, and when they did, they were met by an IDF boat, an Israeli Navy unit, Shayetet 13, which is basically like the Israeli versions of the SEALs, peacefully stopped their boat, boarded their boat, took the people off the boat, put them on dinghies and other boats, and towed their boat back to Israel, or not back to, but to Israel safely. And on their little journey across the water, they were given life vests to wear for safety, and they were given sandwiches, Zionist sandwiches, Jewish, probably kosher sandwiches, God forbid, and Zionist, probably kosher water too, from Israel. And they all accepted it and ate and drank. I believe the one actor from Game of Thrones, maybe he refused because, he stands on principle, so he doesn't want to eat. Oh, also they had plenty of food on their little ship for themselves, but it turns out not so much for the people they were going to supposedly liberate. The amount of food that they brought with them to give to the so-called Palestinians in Gaza was apparently less than one truckload. Yeah, that's what they were going to bring, less than one truckload of food. Well, congratulations, Greta Thunberg. Your PR stunt has happened. And now there are countless images of you and your stupid video that you posted where you said you were being kidnapped you had been kidnapped by the Israeli forces, and where you pleaded for the Swedish government, for people to put pressure on the Swedish government to have you released. Well, turns out you don't need to put any pressure on the Swedish government, because Israel already said while you were being arrested that once you would be brought back to Israel, you would be duly processed, and all of you would be sent back on flights back to the country of your origin, or from wherever you departed on this little ridiculous adventure. So, yeah, way to go. You've achieved nothing. You've made a complete mockery of yourself and your ridiculous attempt at bringing your silly ideals to a place that completely rejects them. You want to bring extreme leftists and LGBTQ notions to Gaza. Guess what? Those are the exact same kind of things that have been known to literally go flying off of rooftops. I guess you wouldn't know that because you're just too stupid. In your young age, you have not learned enough things, and you don't know any better. But you should open a book and learn a thing. You should maybe watch some actual historical documentary evidence that shows literally the people that you pretend to support, and I mean both on the side of LGBTQ and leftist Marxism people, and also on the Palestinian side, because guess what? Palestinian leftists supposedly were people that were thrown off the rooftops when they were working for the PA, which sounds ridiculous to call them leftists, but in the political spectrum that is Palestinian politics, the people in the PA, many of them are in fact considered leftists or Marxists, or at least communists, or very socialist in some ways. And they are the quote-unquote secular Palestinians, who are people that call themselves Palestinians, right? People of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, terrorist organization, the Palestinian Authority, and Fatah. They're the leftists on their political spectrum, whereas the Hamas are the rightists on their political spectrum, the extreme conservative, religious right-wingers of the political right of the Palestinian political spectrum. And they literally threw off the roofs people belonging to the political left in Palestine when they took over power in 2007. So people just like you, people that you think you support. Well, by the way, the PA would also throw you in jail or something because you're an LGBTQ supporter, and that's illegal in Gaza. So even if the PA were still in charge, you'd be bringing ideals there that they find criminal. And if you demonstrated any kind of support for that, you would be in jail too. Even if you're not a member of the LGBTQ community, even if you're just a supporter or an ally, you could be jailed for that and treated extremely severely. So you really should be grateful to the Israelis for not just not kidnapping you. By the way, I don't remember the last time that I saw somebody so calmly reporting a video saying, "Oh yeah, I've been kidnapped." No, you weren't kidnapped. You were stopped. You were stopped by the Israeli Defense Forces, by one of the best units that they have, who treated you magnificently and decently and respectfully, and gave you sandwiches and water, and brought you back to Israel, where you are being duly processed and sent on your way home, like the young fool that you are. So thanks for visiting Israel. What a way to come here. Next time, maybe think about the actual people that are affected by your silly stunt, and the fact that you're supporting the worst of the worst. If you want to support Palestinian people, go right ahead, be my guest. I support Palestinian people having a right to a peaceful country next to Israel. You support people who don't want an Israel. And that, my dear, is just wrong. Peace. Shalom.